incapacitated. As you can see, our portion of the federal government is incapacitated under Reconstruction. Reconstructing it would have been an easy matter if the American populace had been properly informed, but they were not given correct information, so didn't take the appropriate action. British territorial states of states usurped upon and substituted themselves for our American federal states of states, so that, for example, the state of Maine was secretively replaced by the, in all lowercase, state of Maine. In this way, the Brits took over the juicy federal service contracts intended for our own federal service organization and exercised powers never delegated to them. The Brits began operating what still appeared to be our federal government as a corporate enterprise. They chartered a Scottish corporation doing business in our name as the United States of America Incorporated. Using this semantic deceit, they published the Articles of Incorporation of this doppelganger as the Constitution of the United States of America in 1868 and declared all municipal United States citizens, that is, citizens of the United States, to be criminals and slaves. The municipal government sided with the South, and the Brits were intent on collecting war reparations from them. The municipal United States government then also organized as an incorporated entity and rapidly spun off many variations of incorporated entities using the same kinds of similar names to seats. United States Inc. was born, and they similarly declared a commercial war against the British territorial citizens known as United States citizens. In this way, both foreign subcontractors, the Brits, and the Pope's Holy Roman Empire colluded to create a perpetual commercial war on our shores. While this would seem to affect only federal employees and perhaps their dependents, both sides of this deliberate arrangement claimed that average Americans were on their side, which provided either side with an excuse for attacking us at will. The British territorial government claimed that we were citizens of the United States. The Papal municipal government claimed that we were territorial United States citizens. The Papal municipal government claimed... I already read that. And both sides of this phony commercial war attacked the innocent bystanders. Average Americans are state citizens of the United States. We are third parties and naturally part of a completely separate population to which these bad actors owe good faith and service. Over time, these criminal collaborators, masked as incorporated business entities, contrived to gain control of our counties by a process of unlawful conversion. The foreign federal subcontractors had already substituted their own states of states for ours. Now they wanted our counties as well. They did this by bribing ignorant people into undisclosed franchise agreements promising federal block grants, basically corporate kickbacks from the above-described racketeering operations as a reward. As our counties took the bait, those organizations and their resources were converted and reduced to functioning as mere franchises of the parent federal corporations involved. Just like the foreign incorporated states of states, organizations replaced and substituted themselves for our American states of states after the Civil War, counties of counties replaced our actual counties. The British territorial government versions operating as states of states under the original Scottish corporation beginning in 1868 went bankrupt in 1907. This then cleared the way for the Pope's municipal government to come in and establish their own version of states of states organizations, which they briefly did. they incorporated yet another doppelganger. The Scottish doppelganger was the United States of America Incorporated, bankrupted in 1907. The municipal doppelganger was the United States of America Inc., formed in 1925, bankrupted internationally in 1930 at the Geneva Conventions, bankrupted domestically in 1933, and all by the same person, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. None of this had anything to do with the United States nor with the United States of America. This is all constructive fraud carried out by foreign governments masked as incorporated service organizations that were supposed to be providing our states and people with limited and enumerated governmental services. They have been secretively acting as predators and privateers against their employees, the American states and people, and misdirecting our public employees and armed forces under color of law. Now the Pope has pulled the plug on the United States Inc., yet another iteration of incorporated doppelganger merely being operated in our name, and the erstwhile British territorial version, DBA USA Inc., which has been in reorganization for something like 15 years, is due to default on its debts at the end of September 2019. Back in 1976, during preparations for the end of the federal corporation bankruptcy started by FDR, the Territorial Congress released itself from its duty to act as our trustees and foisted that obligation off onto the United Nations via the International Organizations Immunities Act. As you will see, all the state offices were given to the United Nations, and all of this has been going on behind our backs for decades while we slumbered on, deliberately dumbed down so that we could never object to the bogus and unconscionable commercial contracts and other scams perpetuated by these foreign incorporated service providers. None of this would have been possible without the misdirection of our armed forces by corporate CEOs like Roosevelt operating as presidents of the United States of America and presidents of the United States playing both ends against the middle, us, their feckless employers. Our generals have failed us because they did not see through the similar names deceit, or because they are corrupt. In either case, it is plain to see that none of this actually involves the United States nor the United States of America. It is also clear that it does not involve the actual American states and people. It is entirely the fault and the mess created by the foreign federal subcontractors doing business in our names and against our best interests. What is also clear is that we are the priority creditors of both the Queen and the Pope and all their various corporations, all their banks, all their organizations, and no amount of pandering and guarantees of immunity granted by any territorial Congress relieves them of their debts to us. The constitutional law enforcement side of it, Part 1, the militias. It is our duty as Americans to enforce the constitutions. We all know that, yet it hasn't come home to us exactly what that means. The constitutions, there are 3 of them, by the way, not just one, are service contracts between the states and the people and the federal service providers under contract. They provide the stipulated and strictly limited services, and we pay them for it. Our part of enforcing the constitutions means holding our service providers to their contracts and feet first to the fire, making sure that no chicanery and abuse, such as has been described, goes on. They describe the constitutions as the law of the land, because with respect to us, our states, and our people, we are on the land. The federal service providers are on the sea or in the air. So when these federal service providers are dry docked on our land and soil, they are obligated to act according to our law, the law of the land, literally, not the international law of the sea, nor the municipal laws either. The statutory laws, codes, and regulations, what you are also familiar with as law, don't apply to average Americans. These territorial and municipal forms of law apply only to corporations and actual federal employees and their dependents as a condition of their employment. You read that right. All these foreign codes and regulations and statutory laws have been deliberately misapplied to average Americans using the same kind of semantic deceits that created this mess in the first place. Asked if we are U.S. citizens, we are obligated to answer yes because we are state citizens of the United States. The verbiage sounds the same whether you are talking about state citizens of the United States or territorial United States citizens or even municipal citizens of the United States. So, of course, innocent and trusting people check the box yes. Many Americans don't know the difference and aren't taught the difference for the obvious reason that these predatory federal service corporations want to involve and entrap Americans in their secretive little commercial mercenary war very quietly taking place on our shores. This is how the territorial government claims that we are citizens of the United States and uses that to attack us, while the municipal government claims that we, United States citizens, and uses that to attack us when we are in fact neither apples nor oranges in their system of things and hold a completely separate status as state citizens of the United States. As their actual employers, we don't even have a dog in the fight. We don't care who provides the services under contract so long as they do their jobs and act in good faith. This latter issue, good faith, being the defining issue. We, the American states and people, are not at war and have not been at war, commercial or otherwise, since 1814. The problem created by these criminally run amok service organizations can only be solved by self-administration, meaning that each and every one of us has the right and the responsibility to enforce the constitutional guarantees and must do so. Did everyone hear that? Every American, whether they work for a federal corporation or not, is obligated to uphold the constitutional guarantees for every other American. And we all have an equal right and responsibility to do so. That means that old grandma here has the right and the duty to enforce the Constitution just as much as any peace officer or LEO. I am a peace officer, okay? I am one of you, just as much as the boys in blue. I know that it's hard to fathom, so take a moment and look around the room. The secret of the American militia is that we are all in the militia, as in Switzerland. We are not as organized about it, but we are operating under exactly the same kind of system of civilian soldiery, and it is not only legal, it's mandatory. So I want to bring your attention to more things about the American militias. Because there are many American militias, the word people in Hebrew means the militia. So when we say we the people, we are saying we the militia. Think about it. It's not only our right, it's our duty to keep and bear arms. And when the municipal government in Washington, D.C. says one thing against that, they are acting in treason against the very basis of their own existence. Remember always that the municipal government is literally created by Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the original Constitution. If the Constitution and its rights and guarantees goes, so do they. We guarantee it. The present members of Congress and the Pope may need a reminder of these facts, but facts they are nonetheless. The British territorial government is in a similar position, except that they do have a few separate land holdings under their control by delegation, which also operate as Commonwealth, most particularly Puerto Rico, which has been used as a focal point of their privateer operations, and now the Northern Mariana Islands, where they have moved their operations, not operators. The persons responsible for this are disloyal members of the U.S. military, what Eisenhower called the military-industrial complex. Our beloved military has been insubordinate and running this country as a foreign military protectorate since 1865. They have substituted the foreign papal Roman civil government for the civilian government, and both groups of our employees have conspired to act as predators upon the people they are in fact hired to serve. Both these centers of financial terrorism, one in Puerto Rico, one in the Northern Mariana Islands, need to be exposed for what they are and destroyed. They and the false claims brought and enforced by the IRS and Internal Revenue Service against the American people must be exposed and the entire system radically reformed, but that is another topic. There has been an effort on the part of the guilty parties to bypass and demonize the American militia, to portray us as violent, know-nothing hicks, but in fact, every American adult is a member of the militia, including those Americans who happen to work for the federal government. Here is the bottom line for the federal employees, both military and federal civil service. If you don't support and protect your actual employers, the American states and people, you don't have a contract and you won't get a pension. If that doesn't motivate their sense of loyalty to this country, I don't know what will. Among those millions of Americans who are employed by the federal government, spread the word. Among those millions of Americans who are employed by the federal government, spread the word. It's your country and your nation at risk, and your pension too. Stay tuned for part 2. And for now, take in the fact that all Americans are members of the militia.
To literally stick.
Issue one final warning on this issue to make very clear, to leave no doubt, that we have people out there still peddling the big lie. People now raising the issue of election denial in this election.
Meanwhile, right-wing extremists already have a plan to literally steal the next presidential election.
Better stop questioning the cleanest election of all time. Last night was your final warning. I'm sorry? Final warning? That's right. Gateway pundit, Biden chief of staff, Ron, I got a man-made vagina claim that threatens Americans ahead of midterms, saying Biden's speech was a final warning. You heard it from him. Motherfucker shake like a potato here. Telling you.
Final warning.
Final warning. Wow. The dude who's totally got 81 million totally legitimate supporters, most popular president of all times with a 30% approval rating, is telling me that I'm not allowed to question an election? That's weird. That's all your site did from 2016 to 2020. No, now we're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to do it because there were broken windows in Washington, D.C. and a busted door jam. It's definitely terrorism. That was the highlight of the speech that this dipshit gave last night. It's only democracy when we do it. Biden says midterms could be illegitimate, then blasts the election deniers and tells everybody, listen, it's going to take 4 weeks to count all of the votes. Yeah, sure. the Republicans are going to win all of the seats election night and the day after election, but we're just going to keep counting ballots. It's going to take days, all right? Everybody knows that it takes 3 weeks to count ballots now. And, of course, at the end of this, by a razor-thin margin, Democrats are going to win. Totally. The group with zero enthusiasm behind them during the midterm run-up, the group that won't have Joe Biden stump in any of the contested races, again, 81 million votes, boys, 81. Nobody wants his help. Nobody wants his help in Georgia. Nobody wants his help. The only person who wants his help in Pennsylvania is the fucking dude with brain damage. That makes a lot of sense, by the way. That's the only thing that makes sense with this. But no. He came out last night and he said, it's going to take days to count all of these ballots. Yeah. So what? There's a record amount of Republican enthusiasm, Republican mobilization, Republican support. But no. Democrats are going to win. We just got to count 3 days. 3 or 4 days after the election. And if you question any of this, you're a terrorist, because only a terrorist would deny an election result. And again, that was your final warning last night. That's my final warning. You're not allowed to question elections in this country. You know that's terrorism. Is going to get people killed. What was that? What? Hillary Clinton. GOP has planned to literally steal 2024 election. Shut up. Listen. Arrest you right now. The Department of Homeland Gestapo Security, in conjunction with the Department of Justice and the United States Postal Service, will be kicking down your motherfucking door to arrest you if you question the fucking election. By the way, the election in 2024 is going to be stolen by Republicans. Whoa. Hillary Clinton, this is your final warning to stop questioning elections. Hillary Clinton said that 2016 was an illegitimate election, that Donald Trump stole 2016. She's not considered an election denier. Hillary Clinton telling all of her unfuckable, mentally ill goofballs for years that Donald Trump and Pootie Poot stole the election, caused billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of damage from Antifa, from BLM, and from pussy hat losers, in addition to killing dozens and dozens and dozens of black people. But listen, no. We're allowed to question elections because we're Democrats and we've got a rainbow flag. You Republicans, you're terrorists when you do it. You're a flaming racist conspiracy terrorist if you question why water mains are breaking and all of the poll watchers are kicked out of an arena where they're counting ballots. An arena that has a Black Lives Matter flag flying over it counting election ballots. You're a racist conspiracy theorist when you're watching Republican poll workers being kicked out of all of these counting areas. Don't worry about it. You're a conspiracy theorist if you're wondering why Joe Biden was getting tranches and tranches and tranches of 100% votes for him at 4 in the morning. No. You're a conspiracy theorist. No, don't look at any of this. By the way, final warning, but not a final warning to the Democrats. She did this last week, right? This is October 25th. Hillary Clinton saying the 2024 general election is going to be stolen. That's her saying this. But again, Joe Biden mumbling like a lunatic last night saying questioning elections is a racist, domestic terrorist threat. He'll be arrested. His chief of police, what is this guy good? His chief of staff comes out and says, listen, this is your final warning. I think that final warning is going to fall on deaf ears. Again, you guys seem awfully concerned. The people with 81 million totally legitimate supporters, most popular presidential dynamic duo of all time, seems hyper concerned about a fringe minority of conspiracy theorists. Well, that's weird how that works. It's almost like this election's completely bullshit. But I would never say that because I've been warned. And I take all of my warnings seriously from Stay Puffs like this dude over here. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching the videos. We're going to keep up to date with what you are and are not allowed to question in this country. Hit that subscribe button and make way, because the salt must flow.
Thing comes up, holler at me. They are going to set up the north of Primaterra and the south of Pensmore Mansion. That's why the tunnels are built. I already made the report and I have the numbers. Everyone is caught up in the distraction. I know the deal. He sided up with the Republican Party of the South. Who is he? Putin. Put in what? He played you. What are you talking about? Don't get me going, please don't get me going. You don't even realize it, do you? He formed an alliance with the Little Boys Club of Texas.
The Little Boys Club, you mean Fuck Kids Club?
I'm not making any bets. Like I said, I'm going to bed and I recommend you do the same. Go to sleep sometime. There is going to be a war and it's right here, and when it starts, Russian forces and Chinese already in Canada are going to hit the ground here and take the north half. The ducks in Texas sold us out. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you trying to start a fucking war on our country? They are going to divide it up and will turn on the boys from Texas who are dumb with stupid fucks. If they think they can trust China and Russia, they are nuts. The Russian forces will come from the south out of Central America and Mexico, the Chinese from the north, and Iran and North Korea will come east and west coast. It has to be stopped, and now. Maxed out. I have a clear picture of what Khrushchev planned long ago. Grace Digger is upon this land. Okay, so what at this time in our is your plan? Tell me. Go to bed, I have this. I see why they have the nukes now and what you're talking about for such things like the situation you're discussing. Our allies in Canada and Mexico sold us out. Soros, George in Canada and the cartels are pissed at me in Mexico. They sold us out. George Soros of the Bilderberg Group. I called this long ago and I am praying that she read it all and got it. How much you wanna bet they got their facts all wrong, and they better check their facts before making a move? You better be fucking sure, 100% sure, before fucking doing anything. But my words, if something fucking happens overnight and I don't fucking get it, should I'm gonna fucking mad. Why are you gotta put this on me anyways? Are you helping or hurting? What side are you on? I'm too tired for this shit. Speechless. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And don't do anything stupid that you're going to regret. I won't. I am expecting contact soon. Stop. I'm reporting this to the police. It's already being monitored, but I'm going to make sure that whatever anyone says, they're held accountable. Gonna get real tense real soon. Go ahead if that's the angle you really want to play on me, your friend. People are going to do what people are going to do. See you on the other side of this. I don't have time for fuckery, I just have time for facts. That girl has the launch code. What girl? Good night. If you don't stop, I'm blocking you. Good night, Kara. My name is Carly. If you're going to see me on the other side, that means you're saying you're on the wrong team. Okay, your mom calls you Kara. The wrong team is either side, promoted by Russia and China. Kill Jill, Big Boy song. These are all things that had popped up on my phone at one time, or that friends have shown me. It's not by accident. Divided we fall. I prepared my people, we will not divide. And it sounds like you're dividing it by doing what you're doing right now. Go to bed, don't manifest the shit. Yes, Jill, I know she is the Texas side con. What do you put out into the world will come back to you, and what other put out about you will get back to you. I turned her back to the light. That starts a war right there. Supposedly I was told there could only be one, and so they want to fight over that. So why isn't it in ourselves we trust? Or why isn't it in each other we trust instead of how it is today, how you put it? Divided we are, together we'll be. Gonna cut of the yellow Chinese bastards with the nuke strike south of Kansas City on the 65 and 13 corridor, and gonna have to waste Houston to stop the Russian herd from the south. I was told by one of my friends that if I don't trust in them we fall, whatever that means. Watch your eyes and stay inside when that candle lights in the north of you. Good night. There is going to be a war, and it's right here, and when it starts, Russian forces and Chinese already in Canada are going to hit the ground here and take the north half. The ducks in Texas sold us out. On our country they are going to divide it up, and will turn on the boys from Texas who are dumb as stupid fucks. If they think they can trust China and Russia, they are nuts. The Russian forces will come from the south out of Central America and Mexico, the Chinese from the north, and Iran and North Korea will come east and west coast. It has to be stopped, and now. Everyone is caught up in the distraction. I know the deal. I already made the report and I have the numbers. Don't be fucking starting a fucking riot tonight. Don't be fucking threatening me or anybody. I thought you were going to go to your fucking room, and I thought you're gonna lock the door and you were going to make a report about your fucking vehicle. Tomorrow, what happened to that plan? They are going to set up the north of Primaterra and the south of Pensmore Mansion. That's why the tunnels are built. They have a line drawn and it's in this town. You stop the fuckery now. No, I don't want to jump your case. I am leaving that up to you. I know I'm in the right other than my habit, which I'm working on and in control of. Don't kid yourself. I've put up with a lot of BS from people and don't want dragged into more fuckery. Oh, and by the way, you can let the DCMLCB know that all this static she had you throw at me didn't faze the kid one bit, and she reads everything we talk about. If you're not on the level charisma, I suggest you get on top of the glass, cause you don't want to be under it. She is as serious as I am about national security. Okay, and this bitch she sent in here to steal my truck, really. I saw that coming from 20 miles out, and it was a solid tone on my radar at 150 miles out. Geez, what a deal. Someone is jealous over my skill set she didn't think I had, and she needs to remember who put her on this whole deal years ago. LOL, you girls think you're slick and all that, but remember the Wolverine always wins, and I won this weekend when Kamala Harris exited Washington, D.C. to go to an undisclosed location in California with Dodgy, her husband, who is a member of, you guessed it, the Little Boys Club. And the setup at the church tonight to make me think she was going to pull me out right there. Well, I stopped that shit with the I love Rachel K line, which is true, and she is jealous over it, and she knows there is only one way to lock me in solid. On her. I will give you one guess, charisma.